Good evening, class. This is your summary of Chapter 10. Chapter 10 deals with developing a positive attitude, and the first section, 10.1, deals with attitudes you need to have to be successful in the workplace and at school. Some of the things you should have learned when you read the chapter. You want to know why positive attitude, high self-esteem, and enthusiasm, why they contribute to career success. And the next thing is how to think positively, overcome doubt, and deal with mistakes. We all make mistakes, but how do you overcome those mistakes? You pick up, you learn from them, and you move on. And then the last thing is how to assert yourself on the job, how to be assertive, take up for yourself on the job. The main idea for this section, employers value workers who are positive, self-confident, and enthusiastic about their work. Positive people, self-confident people, people who are enthusiastic tend to make the company more money. And that's the bottom line, is making money. Even in a nonprofit situation, you're still, with nonprofits, they still have to do some degree of fundraising, but it still does good for the overall organization, whether it's profit or nonprofit. Attitude. Attitude is your basic outlook on life and your way of looking at people in the world. Do people tell you you have a good attitude? Do they say you have a bad attitude? Why? If someone tells you you have a bad attitude, ask them why. Your attitude determines how you'll react to certain situations and how other people perceive you. You may think you have a good attitude, but if you talk to friends and family, they may see you a little bit differently or perceive you differently. Things when you're developing a positive attitude, take actions instead to solve problems. Instead of complaining about everything all the time, what can you do to solve that problem? Be proactive. Turn a negative situation into a positive situation. Present your ideas in a positive way. On a lot of scholarship applications and some job interviews, they may ask you, what have you done in the past to solve a problem? And developing a positive attitude will give you practice how to answer that question by being proactive and not complaining about everything. Positive thinking is difficult at times. It takes, for me to be positive, it takes a lot of self-talk. Okay, Karen, you're going to have a good day today. You're not going to let this get to you. So I have to constantly talk to myself throughout the day positively. If you think positively, you'll get along better with other people, you'll handle problems more effectively, and you'll reach your goals by motivating you to act. I've spent the last couple of days at home trying to think positive about this national certification, even though at times I want to pull my hair out, but I know I can do this. And I am equipped with the skills to be successful. So you just got to keep telling yourself that when things get get you a little bit down. Self-esteem, you all did a self-esteem survey for your self-portrait movie project, and I saw a lot of people with average or high self-esteem. Self-esteem is how you regard yourself, the recognition and regard for yourself and your abilities. How do you feel about yourself? If you don't think a lot about yourself, it's hard for other people to think a lot about you. So when you present your ideas and thoughts in a positive way, you show self-esteem. There's a difference between being proud and arrogant and just having a high self-esteem. It is okay to be proud of your accomplishments, to be proud of the things that you have done. But there's a fine line between that and arrogance. These are some ways, if you know your self-esteem is not really high, people don't believe me, but I had very, very low self-esteem in high school. I wish I would have done these steps. You can make a list of your abilities and your successes. If you write down things you're good at, things you've done successfully, you'll look back on the list and be like, oh, wow, I did a good job. And if you don't have a lot of things, then this should be your motivator to get some things done. Set reachable goals for yourself and work to achieve them. Think about the positive impact that you've had on other people. Did you make somebody smile today? That's a positive impact. It may not seem like a lot, but you never know what making one person smile or saying that one kind thing to that person may have changed the course or direction of their day. And you also want to work on improving your abilities. If it's something that you want that you do, okay, you want to get more practice, work on improving your abilities. Some of you, it may be you want to practice public speaking more. Enthusiasm is easy to have enthusiasm, to smile, be energetic when you love something that you do. But sometimes we all have had classes in high school that we absolutely loved to take, so we were very energetic and enthusiastic, couldn't get to class fast enough. But then there's also some of those classes that were like, ugh, I wish I didn't have to be here, but you have to push yourself through it because the reality of it is you're there, so you have to get through it. So having a negative attitude is not going to help you. It's just going to prolong the process. It's a little bit difficult, but you have to push your way through it. In life, same thing is going to happen. I don't always get to do the things that I love to do. Sometimes I have to do the things that I have to do. So you find a balance and you think about those times, if I just go ahead and get this done, then I can go and do something else. Overcoming doubt. Many people reduce inner self-doubt through positive talk. If you keep telling yourself, oh, I cannot do this, then you won't. But if you tell yourself, yeah, I can do this, you will eventually get it done. I can pass that next test. All I have to do is study, make some flashcards. Notice I didn't say you'll pass that next test by doing nothing. You'll pass that next class by studying, making flashcards, not cramming and waiting to the last second to study. So there's things that you have to do to help you overcome doubt. If you make a mistake, you're at the age where you're going to be making a lot of mistakes. Unfortunately, because of your age, you're budding adults. Some mistakes that you make will follow you into your adulthood. So if you see yourself making mistakes, the most important thing is learn from that mistake and don't do it again. Use it as an opportunity to grow. Accept that you will make mistakes from time to time, but with some decisions that you make, remember that there are some long-lasting effects to that mistake. These are some steps to follow when you think you've made a mistake. First of all, make sure it's truly a mistake. If it was a mistake, accept responsibility for it. Don't keep trying to pass it off. Well, I wouldn't have done this if such and such hadn't have done that. Take your responsibility in it. If you can, offer a way to solve the issue. Find a lesson you can learn from that mistake. Forgive yourself. And then the sixth step should be move on. Don't go back and dwell on it because you want to grow from it. So that means you're not going to make that mistake again. So you're not going to dwell on it. You did it. It's over. It's done. You've resolved it. You've taken responsibility. Forgive yourself and then move on from it. Being assertive. Some people think that being assertive means that you got to be mean or arrogant. But being assertive just means you can still be direct, honest, and polite. It's the way you approach a situation. When you confidently present yourself and your abilities to those around you, you are being assertive. And people don't mind being around people that are assertive. People don't like people that are arrogant. And nobody can, do anything. You almost seem above everyone, and everyone is beneath you. These are some ways that you can show assertiveness by being friendly, outgoing, respectful, looking at people in the eye, smiling, making eye contact, using your body language. Use positive language. Speak with confidence. Volunteer for projects or committees. Make suggestions and ask your supervisor or your teacher for advice. Keep a record of your accomplishments. For the last 15 years, I keep a 3-inch binder. And when I get letters from students, letters from other teachers, good letters, and sometimes negative letters, I put all my certificates, everything in that binder, so I can always go back and reflect on my accomplishments. Because sometimes it's hard to remember every single thing that you do. But if somebody points it out and makes you a really, really nice card, you want to keep up with that so you can always have something to look back on. Especially days when you don't feel like you are, making a contribution. I know as a teacher sometimes I have really low days and I wonder, why am I teaching? But if I just flip back in that binder and I see those notes from previous students and I see letters and I see the certificates, it makes me feel like what I'm doing is worthwhile. Don't confuse arrogance with assertiveness. Arrogant behavior is considered rude and impolite. We all know at least one person that is arrogant, and nobody likes to be around that person. And that's the end of the first section. I got a couple more minutes and to get through the second section, which is acting like a professional. And I've also posted a couple of videos on acting like a professional and desirable employee qualities on the course wiki. A couple of things that you should know for this section is what are some effective strategies for handling criticism. And in this, you're going to watch a video on the sandwich technique, effective strategies for pressure, and gossip in the workplace. And then we'll talk about some ways to control your anger. The main idea is learning how to handle difficult situations in a professional manner. Underline professional manner is essential to succeeding in the workplace. So you want to this is about handling difficult situations, but in a professional manner in the workplace. In the workplace, ask yourself the questions before you react to the situation. When somebody makes you upset or a situation comes before you, and you can use school for an example. Was my reaction a mature response to the problem? Think about what it was that happened. Was my answer constructive? What could I have done differently? Those are signs of somebody that is self-reflecting and confident, because they're always trying to make sure that they reacted well in a situation, because you want to get along and work with anybody that you work with. Of all the employees who are fired each year, 70% are fired because they can't work well with others. You're in high school, you're meeting all different kinds of people from all across the country, all across the state. This is your opportunity now to make friends with, or at least start speaking to someone that you've never spoken to before. Because that's how it's going to be in the workplace. You don't know who you may have to work with. Practice those skills now, getting to know other people. You don't have to get all in their personal business, but just enough where you're just showing that you're friendly and you're an open type of person. On the job, you need to show professionalism. That word keeps coming up again, professionalism. Professionalism is the ability to handle problems, criticism, and pressure gracefully and maturely. That is professionalism. We all want to be to show professionalism on the job and at school. When we're looking at criticism, I know you say you get criticized a lot from your parents. I'm a parent, and sometimes I do have a tendency to criticize, but constructive criticism, offer positive comments along with suggestions for improvement. There is a video on the sandwich technique on the wiki that I want you to watch, and as a warm-up, practice, develop a scenario with the person sitting beside you and practice the sandwich technique. Write down the scenario, the compliments, the critique that you all did, and then when I get back on Friday, we'll look at your sandwich technique scenarios, and I actually record them for a grade. That's all the time I have for now. I will see you later. Bye-bye.